Lesson 6 of our Photoshop for Beginners Masterclass. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. And if you are old here, thanks so much for clicking this video. In today's video, we are going to learn how to create round labels in Photoshop, just like this. Let's dive in. So the first thing we are going to do is to open our software, Photoshop. And I'll start by selecting a layer. I will select a layer I have to work with. So I'll go to File. I'll select New. Then I choose the layer I want to work with. I want to work with, let's do 2 by 2 inches. And our resolution, let's make it 500. I want it more quality. And this is a label and the size is small. So I want it more quality. So 2 by 2 inches. And I click on Create. The first thing I'm going to do is to unlock my background. So for my layer panel, I'll unlock my background. And you see our layer is a square, but we want it round like a circle. So I'll go to my shapes. I'll select the ellipse tool. So I right click and I'll select the ellipse tool. And then I'll come to my layers. I'm going to draw a round circle. And I'll do that by pressing Shift and I left click and I scroll, okay, to the size I want. So I'll leave it and I'll press on V on my keyboard to select the move tool and I press Ctrl T to transform. Okay, so I'll put it in the middle. So this is the middle and I'll enlarge it a bit to fill the entire layer. So I think this is okay. So I hit on Enter. Right. So this is lesson 6 of our Photoshop for Beginners Masterclass. So please, if you haven't watched from lesson 1, kindly go back. If you start from here, you get lost. Unless maybe you are in the advanced stage, for that you can start from here, or you have the fundamentals of Photoshop, that you can start from here. So we are going to start working on our logo, but I want to take my background off. So I'll just, with the eye tool here, okay, so the visibility here, I'll just take it off so that I'll just have the circle. So we are going to start by drawing this, okay, the shape below. That is what we will start by. And my last video, lesson 5, was how to use the pen tool. And we are going to use the pen tool for this tutorial. So how to use the pen tool. So I can select my pen tool by pressing P on my keyboard. And then I select my layer, then I start drawing, okay. I can start this way. Right, so I'll select a point, I'll make a point, and then I'll make a second point. By this time around, I'll still right click, okay, I'll right click and I'll still hold it. So I've right click, so let me send it to the top a bit. So I've right click and I'm holding it, I'm still holding it. So I can drag to make a curve. I can drag to make a curve, so I think it's this way. And then I need to send the curve back. So the handler, this is the handler. I need to send it back. So I press Alt, I'll left click again, I'll left click and hold, okay. So I'll left click, yeah, and you see the cursor change, and I'm still holding it and I drag it into it, okay. If you want to master the pen tool, kindly go back to lesson 5 and I've explained everything step by step. So the next one as well, I'll make a point and I'll still hold. So I'll left click and I'm still holding my cursor, and so that way. All right, and when I'm done, I need to send my handler back, Okay, the reason why I send my handler back, because the handler determines where the next curve will go. Okay, so I'll send it back, and then the rest, it wouldn't be, I'll just put it inside, so I can click here anyhow I want. I'm just doing it this way so that you can understand. And I want to change the color from black to red. But then on our layer panel, okay, from our layers, the new shape we drew right now is under the ellipse 2, the circle. So I have to drag it to the top, and I go to the top to pick my red color. So let me select this red I just worked on, and let me make it a bit higher. I think this is good. I still hit on enter. Okay, so you see this is not inside our rectangle, our circle, ellipse 2. I can right click on my layer, and I look for create clipping mask. So I'll select it, and it will go inside the shape, our circle. Okay, but as a beginner, how will you be able to draw this freely? Okay, so let me demonstrate it so that it will be more simpler as a beginner. In lesson 5, I said if you want to learn how to master the pen tool, you pick flyers or you pick labels, you pick designs that are online, then you try to replicate them. So the ones that you can use pen tool to draw, you try to replicate them so that you can master the pen tool. So I'm going to go by that same procedure. Okay, so that as a beginner, it will be more simple for you here. So I've deleted it. Let me bring my flyer back. All right, so let me hit on enter, and now I can select my pen tool by pressing P on my keyboard, and I stand at this point. Okay, so I'm mimicking the shape. So I stand here, I'll left click, I'll come down here, I'll left click, and I'll still hold, and I make my curve. My curve is good. So I press Alt, I left click, and I send the handler back into it. And I come stand here again. Then I'll still hold and draw my last curve. And I think this is good. So I'll send my handler back, and the rest, I just have to bring it back to where I started from. So this is my starting point. So when it gets to a starting point, it changes to a circle beneath it. That shows you've gotten to your starting point. Then you click on it to complete the shape. So when I'm done, I can drag it back. Then I can delete it. Now I can delete the flyer I looked on. So the label I looked on, I can delete it by pressing backspace, and it's gone. So I'll put it inside by pressing, I'll right click on it. I'll choose for create clipping marks, and it's inside. When I'm done, the fill, I'll change it to my red, and this is good. All right, but then you see this side and the other side, okay, it's not complete, so I have to enlarge it. So I'll transform, or let me transform so I don't confuse you. So Control T, and then I drag to transform. I think this is okay. And I leave it, I hit on enter, and it's inside. Okay, so this is how. So I'm going to bring my logo, and I'll start typing. I'll add the rest of the text. So let me bring my logo. So I have this logo here I want to use Go Food. I want to use Go Food for this tutorial. So I'll drag it to the top. Let me decrease the size. I'm using my navigator to push it to the top. And I think this is good. I hit on enter. And then my ellipse, okay, it has to be white. So I'll change the color from the fill under my property. So I'll go to the fill, inside my fill, and I'll change the color to white. And I think it looks better now. And I'm going to write my text beneath it. So the services, I'm going to write them. So I'll start by pressing my text tool. So I can just press T on my keyboard. That's a shortcut. and I click anywhere, and I start by writing my text. So services, this is good with column. I check it. By now, if you are following this tutorial, if you've been following since lesson 1 for text writing, you can do it. For text writing, you can do it. So let me still decrease it. Decrease the size. This is good, but how do I know it is in the middle? So I can use my rulers. If your rulers are not found here, okay, if you can't see your rulers here, then come to, I think, view. Yes, when select view from your menu bar, you see rulers here, and you click on it, your rulers will appear. So I want to use my rulers so that I will be able to see the middle part. So I've selected my ellipse tool. My ellipse tool is already in the middle, so I'll select it. So I'll use that as reference. So I'll drag my ruler into the middle, and then now I know my service. I can drag my service to the middle. And when I'm done, I'll duplicate the text. So Control J, and I'll transform Control T, and I'll drag it down so that I can write the services actually. And then I want to put my rectangle behind my services. So I'll select it, and I'll go to my shapes. I'll select the rectangle, and I'll draw it behind it. Something small. I think this is good. And I'll have to push it under from my layer. So I'll push it under, I'll drag it below, and I'll change the color, the fill, I'll make it white. And the text services, I'll make it red. Right. So let me start adding our service text. So we have food bowls. So food bowls. I will forward the text writing so that we can finish fast. So take your time to write the text, but for me, I'll forward it so the video don't become lengthy. I'm done writing the text, so it's left with a bulletin. So I'll use my ellipse tool. So I'll draw small circles. So I'll go to my shape, I'll pick my ellipse tool. So just some small circles. So I'll press on my shift to get a round circle. You press on shift and you left click and you draw. So just one tiny. Right, so this is good. I'll change the color to white, and then I'll position it. So Control J to duplicate, and I have to position the next one. So let me transform Control T, and I can zoom it so that my work will become more easier. Oh, this won't help me, but let me. Right. So I'll do same for the next one. Control J for Jack. I'll transform Control T, and I can drag. So let me drag the next one below. So Control J to duplicate, and I'll transform by Control T, and I'll drag the next one here as well. And now there is one here. The last one is here. So Control J for Jack to duplicate. I'll transform Control T, and I can drag. And we are good. So I'll zoom back. Right. So the next is our line beneath it. So I'll come to my shapes. I can find my line here. So I'll just draw a line You see, the line is not straight, but as soon as I press on my shift, and it's straight now. So I'll leave it here. And then the fill, I want it color white. And the stroke, I'll add maybe 2 strokes to it. So about 2. And I'll position it well. Right, so my social media. So I'll duplicate this text. So I'm pressing on this time around, I'm introducing more shortcuts. So I'm pressing on Alt. So Alt, then you left click. Then you realize the cursor changes. It becomes 2. Then you drag it down. Simple. So my social media is Go Food. So Go Food on Instagram and Go Food on Facebook. So it's the same thing. So I'll just write it once and my contact information. So I'll duplicate that as well. And the contacts, I'm putting my contacts there. So my contacts 8849966. So that's my contact. And so I'm bringing social media icons. I'll go to File Explorer. So I have Instagram and I have Facebook here as well. So I'll drag the 2 together. And I think I have to add contacts. So let me just add the contacts. So Instagram, Facebook, and contacts. Let me bring the 3. So I'll decrease the size. Always keep this as small. Social media icons, keep them as small. It shouldn't be so bigger than your text. So when I press enter, the second one comes. Right. So I'll drag it, I'll make it smaller. Let me position it well. Instagram next Instagram. Right. We are almost done. We are done. But I'll bring another label. Then we try them out. So I'll leave both labels in the description. So go into the description. I'll leave them in the description. And for the icons, the social media icons, I don't want to feed you. So I'm giving you the source. So go to P-Engine tree. No, go to P-Engine egg. Visit P-Engine egg website. When you go there, you can download these vectors for free. Okay, so go to P-Engine egg to get it. And looking at this flyer, you can realize that there is an image inside. There is still an image in it. So let's do it. So let me go to my File Explorer, and I have some images I download. So let me go to my downloads, and then let me look for one image like that. Which one should I even use? Let me use this. So I drag this image and I make it a bit smaller. But there are a lot of changes. I know why. I know why. This is what is happening. It's from our layer panel. But let me decrease the size and let me work on that. I think this is okay. So I hit on enter. Let me position it well into the middle. So I hit on enter. And then I come to my layer panel. So on my layers, okay, the shape, okay, so this shape that we drew with our pen tool rather is inside our image, which is not supposed to be. So this is what I'm doing. I'm rather bringing this, okay, this image, I'm bringing it to the top, and I position this shape very well. So I'll left click, I'll right click again. I'll go to create clipping mask, and then I'll come back to my image itself, and for that I'll reduce the fill. So I'll set the fill to, let me see how 10 will come out. So this is 10. Let me make it 5. 5, 5, 5. And I think 5 is also, so let me make it 8. 8 is okay. So we are done with this label design. So this is how to create a label in a circle form. Very simple. So I'm bringing another flyer, so I'm bringing another label. So we try that also out. Right. So this is our second label and we want to try it out. So I'm grouping all of this. So I'm grouping everything. But even before I group, I want to duplicate our circle so that I don't draw the circle again. So I press Ctrl J to duplicate it. And I want to select all of them and I'll group it. So watch what I'm doing. I've selected the first one and I'm scrolling down to the last one. But this circle, I don't want to group this circle. Okay, I want to use that for the next design. So meaning this is our last circle. So look at this. I'll press on Shift and I'll press Control and I'll left click. Everything will be selected. When I'm done and I press on this folder icon here, and everything will be grouped. So I can come here and I'll double click to rename it. So I rename it as label 1. So this label 1, and I'll drag it below. So I can uncheck the box here and it's gone. So I just have this circle. Okay, so we're going to start with this label. So the inner is just a rectangle. Okay, so what I've taught you so far is about application. This is application. So you just have to draw your rectangle inside, and you have to draw your rectangle, you put it inside by using your clipping marks. So let me zoom in and then let me look for my rectangle. So under my shape, okay, I right click, I look for my rectangular shape, and then I draw my rectangle. Simple as that. And the color of the fill, okay, so the color now is white. So let me change it to our orange. So this orange, I can actually pick it. So I can pick it here. And we are good to go. So okay, and we are done. So I'll have to put it inside. So I'll left click, I'll right click, I'll go to create clipping mask, and it's in there. So when I'm done, I'll start by writing my text and all that. So let me drag it up a bit. So let me bring my logo first. Right. So I'll decrease the size and I'll position it at the top. So top. By this time around, I want us to add a layer. Okay, so let me call it a stroke. Okay, around our label, so that when we are printing, when we send it out for printing, The edge here will help the printing press when they are printing. They can see it, especially the white, because of the white here. So I'll add the stroke by duplicating. So I'm duplicating the circle. So this circle I have here, this circle. So I'll press Ctrl J and I'll duplicate it. So right now this circle is the one on top. So I want to decrease the size. Okay. So I'll press Ctrl T to transform, and I decrease the size by pressing Alt and I left click and I use my mouse. I decrease the size a bit. So I think this is good and I leave it. I hit on, it didn't work out. Let me see. Okay, it's good. It worked out. So I hit on enter and then I come back to the one at the base and I change the color. So I can change the color to, what color should I use? Let me use red. So I'll pick the color. So I want to use the red from our logo. So I select it and I hit enter, and it's there. Okay, so this is great. This is great. So let me add the circles. So I have 4 circles here. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to my ellipse tool and I'll draw my first circle. So I press on my shift so that I can get a round circle. So this is my first circle, and I don't want to add strokes. Okay, with stroke, when you add stroke, and especially when you are doing clipping mask, at some point the stroke vanishes, and I don't want that to happen. So to prevent that, I'm just duplicating my circles, and I'll use one as my stroke, and the one will be the focus where I'll clip mask. So I'll duplicate my circle. So I'll press Ctrl J on my keyboard to duplicate it. So I'll press the move tool by hitting on V, and I'll increase the ellipse. Okay, so the circle beneath it. So I'll increase it a bit. I think this is okay. And I'll change the color to white. Let me change it to white. You see, this is good. So I'll group them. So I'll select the two. So I'll select the folder icon to group it. And I'll position it very well. So this is great. I hit on enter and I have to duplicate. So look at this. I've selected the group. So when I duplicate, the group is duplicated. So I'll transform, Ctrl T to transform, and I drag the first one. So I'm doing the positioning, Ctrl T to transform. So I'm transforming the group. So no, I have to duplicate first. So let me hit enter. So Ctrl J, I'll duplicate the group. So Ctrl T to transform. So that will be easily I can drag. That is why I'm transforming. Then the next one, to Ctrl J to duplicate, Ctrl T transform, and I drag. So I'm arranging it well now. So the arrangements, this is good. So the next one, I'm selecting the group. I'm not coming down to the circle because it's a circle in a circle. So if I don't take care, I'll mess up things. So the next one also, I'll select the group and I'll do the positioning well. So this two has to be one line. Then the next one has to go to the top a bit. So this way. This one. Okay, this one. Yes, this. No, rather this. So let me push. So let me select the two so I don't come back and repeat it. So let me drag it in. I think this is good. So I will have to position it well to put it in the middle. So I'll select all of them. So select. So I held on my control to select. So I'll transform, Ctrl T, so easily I can drag all of them at the same time. So this is it. So I think the position is okay. Let me drag it to the top a bit. No, I think this is okay. Okay, to the top a bit. Right. So the shape inside, let me drag it down. I don't want the rectangle to show at the top. You see now it's not showing at the top. So this is how my logo is still big. Decrease. enter, position it well, send it to the top. Right, so let me select all my circles, and now I can drag it to the top a bit. So this is good. Now I can add my text, but I don't want to go through that same procedure. So I'm just going to copy my text from the first label that we did. So I'll expand it. So this icon here, so I'll press it to expand, the arrow to expand, and I scroll down to look for my text. So this is the text. So Control J to duplicate, and then I'll drag it up, and I'll leave it there, and I'll come back. Okay, so this is okay now. So I press T to select my text tool, and this time around it's just a bar for separation. So let me just use this. This is nice. Let me just use the bar. Okay, this is I think this is nice. So let me use that. I'll leave it like that, and I'll check my box here. So I'll check it, and this is good. So I'll add the for booking and enquiries. For booking and enquiries, so I'll add a rectangle. So I'll start from here because it will go inside. This is good, and I have to bring it down. So I'm putting it inside. So clip mask. So I'll left click, create a clipping mask, and it's inside. The color fill is white. I hit on enter, then right. So I'll duplicate the text here. Then I'll change the color to orange. I'll double click inside the text. Then I write it. For booking. So for bookings, and enquiries. Right, so the text there, so the font, I'll maintain this font, but I'll increase the type. So the type, I'll make it extra bold. I'll increase the font. Enter. Then our social media, I'm still going to copy from the first one we did. So I'll scroll down. I think it's below, but somewhere. So social media, so here are they. So let me just copy. So let me just group them so it'll be more easier, and I drag it to the top. Right, so I'll position it well, and we are done. So remaining the images at the top. So let me add the images. So I'll click, I'll bring my first image. So I'll clip mask, create clipping mask. I'll position it well. So the next one as well. Let me bring the rice, plain rice. So the food images as well. P engine egg. When you go to P engine egg, you get everything. Everything. Everything is there. So today I'm not putting anything in the description aside the flyers, the two flyers. So let me bring the soup egusi. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. If you've been able to achieve this, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know where you are watching from and subscribe. maybe today will be the last day I see my channel. So please subscribe. So when I upload lesson 7, you will be notified. I have jollof here. It's full of rice. Let me bring this. If you haven't watched lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, you get missing. Here, you get missing. So please kindly go back. Right, we are done. So let me group all of them as I did the first one. So I said you select the first one, the one at the top, then you scroll to the last one, the very last one. This is the last one. Okay, so I'll press. So I'm not clicking on anything, but first of all you press on shift, then you press control whilst you are holding it. So shift, hold, control, hold, then you right click. When everything is selected, then your folder icon, you click on it, it will be grouped. Then I name it, double click and name it label 2. And here we go. When I remove the I, my label 1 comes and I can save it. When I remove the I, label 2 comes and I can save it. I can save them separately. Thanks so much for watching to the end of this tutorial. Kindly subscribe to my channel and share to others as well. Let me know where you are watching from in the comment section. See you in my next video.